So I'd like to welcome up our second lightning speaker, Arjo. He is the Partnership Director of Jesus.net. Let's go ahead and welcome him.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of this gathering as a partner of Crew. I come from a mission family. My parents became missionaries when I was 10 years old, and they've been in missions for 34 years. And they're still active. Right now, they're building a hospital in Guinea. My brother is a missionary in Senegal, and he's doing some church planting there, and I get to be a digital missionary, as many of you are, as many of us are here in this room. And it's an honor to be here, to be with you, and I'm also thankful for the journey that God has put me on, starting in 4th grade with 15 guys in my class, of which we had 10 nationalities. And I think God used that to prepare me for the things that I'm doing right now. God has been instrumental in bringing a number of the guys and the ladies that are in this room to be in my journey and to form me. Ken, Simon, Rich, I can go on. But really, the whole journey has been a journey which has taken us to a place as a network of Jesus.net, which we would not have imagined. But the ultimate goal of what we do as a network is to bring people one step closer to Jesus. Thanks. Yeah, it all started back in the days when I was working for a broadcasting company, a Dutch broadcaster, publicly funded, and we were doing all sorts of experiments. And we experimented with an online course about the person of Jesus called Why Jesus. And we offered this to people who were watching TV programs or listening to radio programs. Parallel to this, there was a French ministry that had started doing some online evangelistic work. And we didn't know of their work. But a common friend introduced us to each other and said, you guys got to work together and bring these two things together to not only do evangelism, but also discipleship. And then a Swiss ministry joined in, a Polish ministry joined in, some of the guys from Crew joined in, the Billy Graham organization joined in, all to say, slowly but surely, a group of about 20 ministries gathered together and started working together, collaborating as friends, pretty much an informal, very flat network, which it still is, I think, today. But by the time we got to about 30 organizations, we said, we need to get a little more organized, right? So we brought together a number of people from different organizations and formed a small supporting team. And our focus was not to do, I was used to working in the broadcasting world, but we really switched to one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching in the sense of that we have 1,500 volunteers right now globally working to journey with people step by step in their spiritual journey. And you can take the next one. Our network right now consists of about 85 ministry organizations. We're active in 34 languages and, as I said, over 1,500 online coaches. And the last number, there are 7,000 prayer partners, 7,000 people who receive a weekly email of responses of people that are in online courses, subscribe to different email series, going through chatbots, which we've developed together with Liam for One Hope. All of these people are praying for those searchers that are on their journey. And really the heart behind it is, and interestingly enough, I'd already prepared this, and a number of you have shared this verse from Matthew 9. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were confused and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Jesus saw the crowds. I got this verse when I was in India in 2008. I was in Chennai overlooking the city, and there God brought this verse into my mind and said, this is what I want you to use for the future. Look at compassion, look with compassion on people. The people globally are helpless and confused, and how can we help them in their journey? And that's what we're all doing here in this room, and that's what we've been doing over the past years. And from a common dream to have every single person get to know God, to grow in their faith, to not only keep it for themselves, but to really go out and share it. And that's a heartbeat, and that's our dream for all of our whole network. And about 20 to 25 Cru ministries are also part of the Jesus.net network. And how awesome is it to then share that common focus and common dream? Our approach is to really help people step by step in their journey. And we've defined it as what we call the stepping stones approach. Different tools, different apps, different websites, email series, online courses, all of them are touch points for people in their journey as they connect with God, wherever they're at. And depending on where people are at, they can jump into this process. And we've identified these different phases, and we use that as a way to identify where does a tool fit. Is it for the unaware? We put it into the access phase. Is it for people that are curious or want to know more? Then we put it in the know phase. If we want people to be more as a follower, we put it in the grow phase. And if we put it into the guide, then that's more in the sharing phase. So all of this correlates very closely to the journey grid as we use within Cru. So it's been very fun to be working with the Cru team as well in how do we use our common experiences and bring those together to move forward. Our focus, and this is a relatively new picture, which we need to send to a graphic designer, to be very honest. So this is one of those things. Yeah, I can do something in PowerPoint as well, but don't ask me to design it. But basically, what I would say, these are the pillars and the foundations of any online, a good working, effective ministry, is they need to have a clear dream and strategy on where to go, a set of priorities for a period of time. That can be 2 years, that can be 4 years, usually a lot shorter, as Ken was sharing earlier. If we get it down to 2-3 weeks, that's great. We usually plan about a year, and then every half year we kind of reiterate that process. Having a clear dream and priorities, which stays the same overall. And then having some pillars of innovation, constantly looking for how can we make the things that we do better, and what are new things that we can incorporate into that. Secondly, how do we optimally use the content, create content, but also recreate content sometimes. Content which has been great in a certain platform, but how can we recreate that for other uses in other platforms? Direct marketing, the one-on-one relationship, that can be online courses with an online coach, that can be email series, all these ways of how do we directly reach people one-on-one. And then developing a strong network of partners. And this could be for you as well. What network of partners do you have in your own country? What network of churches do you have to relate to people, to move people towards? And then foundationally, the stepping stone strategy, where are people at? And more importantly even, where are people spiritually at? That's a new thing that we're now developing. We call it spiritual measurement. It's very much like what Cru is already doing in identifying where is that person on that grid, and then making sure that we offer personalized content for people wherever they're at. And then, of course, we've got the IT platform. And then I think the three things, serving the movement, which is really a team, prayer, and funding. I think one of the main discussions that we've been having is how do we help people to be sustainable in ministry as a person, but also financially. So that's some of the things that we're working on right now. And our dream and passion is to do this not by ourselves, because the ocean, as I always say, is too big to fish in it alone. How can we increase our impact together? Just a number of things that we can use together to combine our efforts. I think that's what God wants us to do as well. As Ken asked, what is your dream for the next 10 years? I drew a picture of all these dots, interconnected with dashed lines. Those are the informal relationships, and with like hard lines, those are like the formal relationships. And we should make sure that we do that to ultimately increase the impact together. So just want to hopefully leave that with you as also the my clicker. Okay. Team in the back, could you help me out? One more. Last thing for the Spanish teams here. This is just the month of March. some of the things that our teams have been doing. One I want to particularly mention. Last Thursday, our team that sends out a daily email, news encouragement email to 40,000 people in the Spanish language, promoted an online course. And overnight, 1,781 people signed up for an online course. I got WhatsApp messages from the coordinator asking me help. Where do we get more coaches to help out these people? So just an example of what is happening in the Spanish world. And two questions I'd leave with you is, where can we as Jesus.net support you in what you're already doing, and where can we increase things together? Thank you very much.